अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्ण कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरातिसे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातरया विभाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया सर्वोऽभिनेदो तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतु। तवैवास्मि न राधे तन्मय मां yesterday, first of all, my heartily obeisances in the lotus feet of my Guru Padma Nitya Leela Pravisham Vishnu Pasis Mad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And again, millions of my Dandat Pranam in the lotus feet of my Shiksha Guru Nitya Leela Pravisham Vishnu Pasis Mad Bhakti Pragyan Swami Maharaj. We have discussed Dhruva Charitra, Ranjan Upakhyan, and Kapil Devhuti Sambhag also. In all Charitra, it has been told, if a man wants to be happy, he should do bhajan of Krishna, chant Hari name. This is Bhakti Yoga. But it is very rare to have darshan of any high class of devotee by which you can hear and then you will select your Gurudev, Diksha, Shiksha, and then Vishambhain Guru Seva. By his service, we can have bhakti. The bhakti of Dhruv was not pure. It is called Sakam Bhakti. That is, he has some desire, though he accepted Bhakti Yoga, but by that he desired something worldly. So, we cannot follow him. And by Ranjan Upakhyan you saw that worldly sense gratification cannot give happy to anyone. One day they will have to be old and give up this body, especially at the time of death. to whom you will remember, will have to come in that form. If you remember your wife, then you will be lady. And if ladies at the time of death, they can remember any man, or they will be man. If anyone remember his dog, then he must be dog. So don't keep dog. Now, अच्छा。
那么昨天我们讨论独瓦大军，还有呢是，Paranjan 这个故事，以及呢何必篇乌鸡山跑其中一些篇章。那么在所有这些古史里面呢，都讲到了，如果一个人想要真正的快乐，那么他必然要从事呢 Krishna Bhajan， 也就是呢从事对 Krishna 的这个灵修服务，唱诵 Krishna 的圣名。那么这称为呢 Bhakti Yoga 奉爱瑜伽。但是在这个世界上，很罕有能够得到呢高等的联谊，让你能够得以聆听，并且呢去获取Shiksha 启迪以及Shiksha 训示。然后呢，我们去从事呢对咕噜的服务 Guru Seva。那么通过对咕噜的服务，我们才得以呢发展我们的奉爱 Bhakti。那么不纯粹的 Bhakti 被称为呢 Sakanda Bhakti， 也就是混杂有其他的世俗欲望。尽管一个人接受了 Bhakti Yoga 奉爱瑜伽，但是他仍然有世俗的欲望。但是终结来说，世俗欲望并不能给一个人带来快乐。我们终有老死之日。那么当老死之时，如果你记得什么，那么你自己得到这些躯体。比如说男人记得他的妻子，那么他来世呢获得一个女生；如果女人记得她丈夫的话呢，那么来世得一个男生。如果呢一个人记得他的狗的话，那么他可能将呢投生为狗。所以呢我们不要养狗。
Now, in Bhagavatam it has been told, Gita also, that what we will meditate at the time of death, you will become in form of that thing. Bharat Maharaj, being a high-class Vaishnava, he left his wife, sons, daughter, and very big kingdom, and went to forest. But there, anyhow, he was in the stage of how Asakti then how that. But at the time of death he was remembering a deer, and he became deer. His feet and life were in vain. Anyhow, in his third birth, again he became in same state. How? Sriman Padmanabh Maharaj will speak Bhakt Charitra.
那么现在我们就是在国家法坛呢，以及在国家梵歌呢，都谈到了死亡之时一个人冥想什么，他即将得到这个形体。像普拉克大军，那么他呢离开了妻儿子女，离开了伟大的王国，去到森林中隐修。那么在那里，他实际上已经呢到达了巴这个阶段了，也就是在阿萨提之后的这么一个非常高等的这个灵修的阶段。但是在死亡之时，他却记起了那只鹿，所以他呢投胎为鹿， 浪费了3世在他第3世的时候呢，他才再次诞生为人。
Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Srila Gurudev is continuing to bring us through the different cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam with the aim of teaching us what is pure bhakti.
这个呢带领我们呢走过了圣典佛教法堂的不同的篇章，然后指出呢什么是纯粹的这个奉爱 bhakti。
And as we heard from the story of Dhruva Maharaj, there is bhakti which is executed with material desires mixed in.
昨天我们已经聆听了关于珠宝大军的故事，那么他呢有这个奉爱，他执行奉献服务，但是呢它里面混杂有物质的这个欲望。
But that is not pure bhakti.
所以这不能称之为呢纯粹的 bhakti 奉爱。
Now in this story, in this history from Srimad Bhagavatam, we are hearing about the life of a very great king named Bharat Maharaj, who was actually a very great devotee, great Vaishnava king.
那么今天在这段古史里面我们将得以聆听这个伟大的奉献者普拉特大军的这个故事，他实际上是一个伟大的国王。
And in fact, this planet Earth is named after him, Bharatvarsha.
那么实际上这个地球呢也以他命名了，被称为呢Bharatvarsha.
So, Bharat Maharaj, in his kingdom, he was vastly wealthy. He controlled all the lands on the surface of the earth. But yet, he had no attachment at all to his beautiful palaces, his wealth, his wives, his children. He gave up everything very easily, just as a person who passes stool goes to the toilet and leaves it behind.
那么尽管巴拉特大军的话呢非常之富有了，拥有了美丽的宫殿财富、妻子以及呢王国等等，但是呢他像拉大便离开这个安丹之地一样携手呢撒手而去。
This was possible only because he had attained very high level of pure devotion to Krishna in the stage of Bhav Bhakti, as Srila Gurudev explains.
那么就像Srila Gurudev解释到一样，那么一个人要达到了相当高的阶段就像在 Bhav 这个阶段呢，才能够做到这一点的。
At that time he had no vow. But when he went to forest giving a vow, and he was doing devotion, at that time he reached up to vow stage there.
那么Srila Gurudev指出来了，在他抛弃呢王国妻儿子女去灵修之时的话呢，他并没有达到呢Bhav阶段，而是在灵修行之后的话呢，他才逐渐呢进达呢这个Bhav阶段。
So this great detachment arose within Bharat Maharaj, and he left his kingdom behind, and he went to the forest, and there, on the banks of a very beautiful river, he began to perform his devotional practices.
所以的话呢抛弃离去了他伟大的这个王国以及财富，巴拉特大军的话呢来到森林之中在一个河岸边在进行他的这个离修。
And gradually he became immersed deeper and deeper in his moods of pure love for Krishna.
那么逐渐他越来越专注于呢对于 Krishna 纯粹的爱。
He was very diligent in his spiritual practices, and every day he would perform all of his practices of bhakti, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, etc.
那么修行非常之精进的每日呢从事呢聆听唱诵崇拜等等。
Smaranam.
尤其是是 Smaranam 就是冥想打坐。
So, the history describes that one day, when he was in this beautiful forest surrounding, there was a deer, a mother deer, who came to that area, and that mother deer was going to be crossing across the river, a small river, And there was a tiger that roared very loudly and frightened the mother deer.
那么当时在史书上呢描述到了这么一个情景，布拉克大军呢修行的附近的话呢有条河了。那么有一日的话呢，一只母鹿怀孕的一只母鹿的话呢，正要跨过这条河，那么背后呢一只老虎呢就咆哮着追逐过来。
But the mother deer actually was almost full-term pregnancy with a baby deer in her womb.
那么当时这只母鹿呢已经呢就是说呢就是怀胎已经快要呢就是说呢要出生了这个胎儿。
And as she jumped across the river, this baby deer actually came out of her womb.
当她因为惊恐而跳入这个河水的时候呢，这只小鹿就从她呢这个母鹿身上呢就出来了。
Now she was lying on the other side of the river, and with very pitiful eyes, she looked at Bharat Maharaj, who was standing there witnessing this scene.
那么呢，这只小鹿就是说呢，就到了岸边了他以呢非常可怜兮兮的这个眼神的话呢，望着巴拉克大军。那么当时呢他正在呢他的灵修的这个地方。
And then she died.
然后呢，这只母鹿就呢去世了，走了。
And Bharat Maharaj, he came there to the river, and quickly he picked up this newborn baby deer in his arms.
那巴拉克大军立即去到岸边了，那么就把它就是小鹿刚刚出生的小鹿呢就呢抱起来。
Now he brought the baby deer back to his ashram, and he began to look after the deer, feeding the deer the necessary food every day so that the deer could grow up.
那么他现在把这只小鹿呢带回他的阿什兰修院里面去，每日供应他的所需就是他需要的东西来照料他。
But as he was looking after this baby deer, he began to become very much attached to this deer.
当他照顾这只小鹿的时候呢，他日益变得呢非常的依恋它。
We see in this material world, people keep pets, animals, dogs, cats. They become very attached to them.
那么我们今天也看到很多人养这个宠物这个狗猫养的越久的话呢就心里面越依恋这些东西。
So, but Bharat Maharaj is not an ordinary person, but yet he started to neglect his spiritual practices because of attachment to this deer.
那么巴拉克大军当然不是一个普通的人了，但是呢也因为呢心里面依恋依着这一只小鹿，所以他日益荒废了他的这个修行。
And he became absorbed in the deer so much so that he was constantly calling the deer to come, and he was cuddling the deer, kissing the deer like this.
那么他因为呢非常的沉醉于这只小鹿了，所以呢经常叫它召唤它，抱着它或者是吻它。
And in the course of becoming so attached like this, gradually he gave up his spiritual practices.
那么也因为这种呢依恋之心呢非常炽盛了，所以最后呢他完全放弃了自己的修行。
Then one day, as that deer was growing up, now he became almost full size. He saw a whole group of deer, and he went running towards them.
那么这只鹿呢就长大了。有一日的话，看到一群鹿群走过，那么他呢就加入这个鹿群离开了。
And Bharat Maharaj was looking everywhere for the deer. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? And he was lamenting and weeping for the deer.
那么巴拉克大军竟然会为这只鹿就是说呢哭泣去在寻找这只鹿说它在哪在哪。
So at this time, just when Bharat Maharaj was so absorbed in this way, thinking about in separation mood from his baby, from his deer, he met his death at that time.
那么巴拉克大军在这种分离的情感之中在与这只鹿分离的情感之中呢遭遇了他的死亡。
Now, in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna explains that when we are thinking of something at the time of death, when we are about to leave this material body, what we are absorbed in thinking about definitely will attain that.
所以佛教梵歌有一个非常有名的诗节提到了当我们死亡之时，我们心意专注的地方的话呢，就是我们下辈子的目的地。
This is the science of transmigration of the soul from one body to another.
那么这是关于灵魂投生转世的这么一个科学。
Yam yam vati smaran bhavam syajat yante kalevaram tam tam evaiti konteya sadat bhava bhavika. So whatever mood, whatever bhav, whatever one remembers very deeply at the time of death, he will become absorbed in that, and he will attain that in his next life.
也就是说，死亡之时一个人内心对生命的这个心绪这个 这个情感的话呢，在那个时候呢，他想起的东西的话呢，他下次的话就到了那个地方。
So Bharat Maharaj actually he took his birth in his next life as a deer.
所以最后的话呢，巴拉克大军投身为鹿。
Just like Gurudev said, if you keep dogs, then you'll have to become dog in your next life.
就像学姑队指出来的如果你养狗的话呢，你下辈子要变狗。
So Bharat Maharaj, in that body of the deer, Krishna, by the will of the Supreme Lord, because of his previous spiritual practices, he could remember that he had committed this mistake in his previous life. And therefore, in the body of a deer, he wanted to always stay in the forest nearby to where saintly persons were.
那么尽管投身为鹿了，那你也因为他前世的修行累积的这个结果了，那么这只鹿呢也是不同寻常的，它能够记起自己的前身，并且经常留居在这个圣人这个修院阿什朗附近。
So he passed his life in this body of the deer in this way, and at the end of that life in the body of the deer, now he took birth in the family of a elevated Brahmana.
那么在结束了他鹿的这一生之后的话呢，他投身为一个婆罗门一个非常高超的一位婆罗门的家庭。
But because he was spiritually advanced from previous life, he could also remember that he had committed this mistake in that life as Bharat Maharaj. And now in this life, he was very careful and he did not want to make the same mistake again.
那么因为他呢是一个非常进步的灵魂呢，所以他能够记起前世的一些错误，所以他这次非常小心避开在布拉克大军那辈子里面犯的错误。
So therefore, in this life, he is called Jadabharat because he pretended to be kind of like a dumb person, like a madman, that he did not have any proper mental abilities.
那么呢，这一辈子里面他的名字呢叫加达巴拉那么加达的这意思的话就是迟钝的呆钝的迟钝的，或者是说像疯子一般的。
Because he did not want that he would again become involved in material activities, he pretended to be this way, and therefore, although his father tried to instruct him in so many different types of knowledge and education, he would not learn that information.
所以呢，他呢假装成非常的呆钝不想再去纠缠在物质活动之中了。尽管作为婆罗门他的父亲的话呢总是想给他良好的教育等等，但是呢他假装对这些东西不感兴趣学不进去的。
So therefore, after some time, his father and his brothers and family members, they saw that he was basically a useless person.
那么过了一段时间他的父亲和他的兄弟的话呢，发现他是一个废物一个。
So they gave up their attempts to try to educate him, and they simply gave him a very ordinary activity of sitting in the field to protect the rice fields from animals and birds that will come.
那么他的父亲就是说呢，放弃了在教育他这么一种尝试了，叫他做很一般的活比如说呢看管稻田就繁殖的动物进入到稻田里面成生。
So in this life he was very happy because now he could become internally completely absorbed in Krishna day and night without any distractions from anyone.
所以这辈子呢，他相当之快乐他没有任何身心的完全沉醉在Krishna 这种知觉之中，日日夜夜。
So one day when he was sitting there in guarding his rice fields, there were some worshippers of the goddess Kali who came in that area. They were searching for a human being who was dull like an animal that they could sacrifice. Very evil persons they were.
那么呢，当时卡利女神的一些崇拜者呢，就在那个村子的附近呢。那么他们正想寻找一个人这种人的话呢，就是说像动物一般的人呢，是很低等的一种人来做人祭。
So they saw Jadabharat sitting there. He was very strong body, very beautiful looking, but they could understand by his actions that he was like a dumb person.
那么呢，巴拉克大军呢也在在场了非常撞到，在地上撞到了。那么他长得身材呢非常魁梧样貌也很英俊。但是呢，他的举动的话呢，显得非常呆钝。
So a few of them came and they grabbed Jadabharat and they started tying him up and leading him away. But Jadabharat, because he was completely absorbed in the Supreme Lord, he had no fear at all, and he just allowed himself to be led by them.
所以呢，他们几个人呢跑过来，将他 Jadabara 绑起来把他带走。那么 Jadabara 因为从事于这个对主的这种呢服务之中所以他们就随他们的见就让他们带走。
So they brought him in the middle of the night to this temple of goddess Kali, and before the deity of Kali, they prepared him to be killed and sacrificed in front of her.
所以呢，在半夜的时候呢，这些人把他带到卡利女神的这个庙里面把他呢准备好，准备呢要祭祀。
They were trying to please Kali by offering a human sacrifice to her.
所以呢，他们试图将一个人呢奉献给卡利女神呢来取悦他。
Because in return, they wanted to get so many material benedictions from her.
那么就是说呢，他想得到相对应的这个物质的回报。
But the goddess Kali was watching this scene, and when the priest raised his sword to cut the head of Jadbharat, then amazing thing happened.
那么卡利女神当然呢见证到了这种罪孽了这种发生了。当这个祭司准备拿起这个剑想把他头砍掉的时候，那么这时候一个奇妙的景象就出现了。
Suddenly the deity of goddess Kali burst open, and goddess Kali herself came out of the deity, and she grabbed the sword of this priest, and she cut off the head of the priest.
那么这时候呢，卡利女神从这个神像里面爆出来了，那么她把这个祭司的剑拿过来，然后呢把他的头给砍了。
And so many of her associates, they also came, and they killed everyone there in the room.
那么呢，卡利女神的其他同游的话呢也冲过来将屋子里面其他人呢全杀了。
Why? Because Goddess Kali is the energy of the Supreme Lord Krishna. She cannot tolerate the pure devotee to be harmed in any way like this.
因为卡利女神也是至尊主的能量，所以她不可能容忍任何人对她的奉献者呢，就是说呢有暴行除暴。
But Jadbharat was very, very peaceful through all of this, and he was completely absorbed in Krishna.
所以呢，在这整个过程中，Jadbharat的话呢非常的心平气和，他完全沉醉在 Krishna 之中。
After this incident, Jadbharat began to wander here and there everywhere on the surface of the earth.
在这个事情发生之后呢，Jadbharat开始云游世界。
And one day, as he was wandering in the public roads, there was a king named Rahugana who was being carried on a palanquin by 4 palanquin carriers.
那么有一天他在路上行走了，那么其中有个国王叫 Rahugana， 那么就刚好呢有人抬着轿子就过那条路。
So as Rahugana was being carried on the palanquin, one of the carriers became very tired. So Rahugana ordered that his guards should take any other citizen that they see on the side of the road who looks very stout and strong, and they should bring him for this service.
那么 Rahugana 这个轿夫其中一个轿夫呢已经非常的累了，那么他就想就在市民里面挑选一个人身强力壮的来顶替他。
So they saw Jadbharat, and he was very strong. So immediately they came and they brought him to the palanquin, and Jadbharat was in complete agreement. He gave no protest.
那么他们也见到了Jadbharat 长得身材很魁梧了，所以呢就把他带过来呢顶替这个轿夫这个位置。那么当然了他完全沉醉在这种神的知觉里面，所以呢他也不在意同意。
So now he began carrying the palanquin, but as he was walking, he was noticing that there were many ants falling on the ground, and therefore he was stepping here and stepping there, and because he was moving here and there, the whole palanquin was rocking, and the king, Rahugana, became very upset.
那么他一路上走着因为避开了这个路上的蚂蚁所以他走路往往就是说呢左摆右摆的那么这个国王呢 Rahugana 在里面就觉得很不安也很生气
And he began to chastise all of the palanquin carriers.
那么开始责骂这些轿夫。
And then they said, "No, it is not us. It is this new person who came. He is stepping in a very awkward way."
那么其他轿夫就说了不是我们的错是这个新来的人他呢走路呢就是说呢左一脚右一脚的。
So then the king began to chastise Jadbharat. Actually, in the beginning, the king was sarcastic, and even though Jadbharat was very stout and strong, he said, "Oh, are you so weak that you cannot carry this palanquin? You're so thin that you have no strength."
那么呢，开始哈，这国王口气哈非常的这个哈，就是说呢，酸溜溜的哈，很讽刺的哈。他本来加个巴掌长得很壮的哈，他是说哈，你难道很瘦吗哈，很弱吗？难道这个轿子哈都抬不起来吗
So Judge Bharat did not answer, and then the king commanded again, carry properly now.
那么呢哈，这个呢Judge Bharat 哈没有回答的话哈，所以呢这国王说哈，那继续哈抬轿吧。
So as they moved along, again Judge Bharat was trying to avoid stepping on the ants, and the palanquin was rocking, and now the king became very upset.
那么呢哈，在一路走的话呢哈，也是的哈，这个Judge Bharat 的话呢，为了避开这个蚂蚁哈，就是说呢走路哈摇摇摆摆的，那个国王哈是非常的在里面呢非常不高兴。
And now the king is very severely chastised. He said, "Do you know who I am? I'm the king. I can punish you."
那么这个国王就生气了哈，他就说了，他说你知道我是谁吗哈？我可以呢哈惩罚你。
Yeah. So then Judge Bharat, he looked at the king, and he said, now the king who was chastising him, Judge Bharat said to him a very amazing thing.
那么呢，Judge Bharat哈就对着这个责骂他的国王哈说了一些哈非常的哈令人惊讶的一些这些话语了。
And he said to him, "Yes, so you are the king at this time, but only because of karma, because of the modes of material nature, you have taken birth as king, and I am your subject. But in any next life, I can become the king, and you can become the subject."
那么他说了哈，现在是的哈，你是国王哈，因为一种业报哈，也因为的物质自然的规律。那么呢，你现在贵为国王啊，我只不过是你的一个子民。那么来世的话呢，有可能我是国王哈，你是我的臣民。
And you have chastised me, saying that I am so thin and I am so weak. But actually, I am neither thin nor fat. I am neither strong nor weak, because that is only this material body. And I am the eternal soul within this body. I am not this body.
他说你说我哈又瘦又弱哈又虚弱，实际上的话呢，我不是瘦哈也不胖哈，我既不强壮也不虚弱，我不是这个身体，而我是呢哈在身体里面那个灵魂。
Now, when King Rahugana saw how this person was answering him, he began to understand, oh, this is no ordinary person. He is actually a person of great transcendental knowledge.
那么这个Rahugana王的话呢，听了他这番话语的话呢，哈，就觉得了哈，这绝对哈不是一个呢哈一个普通的人来的。那么他的话里面哈具有一种呢超然的哈这种的智慧。
And immediately the king got off his palanquin, and very respectfully he addressed Judge Bharat, and he said, "Are you Dattatreya, some very great sage, coming in disguise like this?"
那么呢，这国王立即哈下了轿哈，就向呢他就是说呢很恭敬的哈对他说话了，说呢难道你是Dattatreya哈一位圣哲了，哈乔装假扮成这个样子哈。
And he did his Dandavat pranams to Judge Bharat.
这样呢他哈这个国王向呢这个Judge Bharat哈敬拜。
And now he began to ask questions to Judge Bharat.
那么开始询问的哈Judge Bharat 这个问题。
I can understand that you are a very elevated spiritual personality, and you understand the true nature of the soul and how the soul is different from this body.
他说呢，我知道你是一个高超的哈这个呢灵性人物，你也知道哈灵魂跟哈这个肉体的区别。
But I have a question I want to ask to you, because I cannot understand the nature of the soul.
我有一个问题想询问你哈，因为我不明白哈灵魂的这个真正的品质是怎样子的。
We understand that the soul is different than this body, but yet we experience the pains and pleasures of this body.
然后我们尽管也明白哈灵魂跟身体呢是有区别，但是我们一直哈体验着这个身体的快乐和痛苦哈无常的变化。
And therefore we identify ourselves with this pain and pleasure. We experience this.
因此呢，我们哈去呢体验这种的喜乐了，并且呢哈就是说认同这些东西。
So it must be that the soul is actually connected with this body.
那么呢肯定哈灵魂是跟这个身体哈有关联的了。
And then he gave the example that when you have a fire and you have a pot of water and rice on the fire.
那么他举了个例子哈，说呢有火，然后火上面呢放着锅，锅里面有米哈，有水。
So the fire is not directly touching the rice.
当然呢，火不能没有直接哈触碰这个米。
The fire is only touching the pot.
火呢只是呢哈烤这个炉。
And the pot is becoming hot, and that is making the water hot.
那么锅的话呢热了后呢，这样的水呢哈又热起来。
And the water becoming hot makes the rice hot.
那么呢，水热了后呢，就让呢这个米呢也热了。
So therefore, it appears that there is a connection between the fire and the rice.
所以看起来的话呢，这个火呢跟那个米呢也是有关系的有关联的。
So therefore, there must be some connection between the soul and this physical body because we are experiencing the pains and pleasures of this body.
所以的话呢，这个灵魂的话呢，跟躯体之间一定是有一点关联的因为我们呢体验到了这个身体的这个痛苦快乐。
So then Jad Bharat, he began to answer the king's question.
所以Jad Bharat开始回答呢这个国王的这个问题询问了。
And he explained, "O king, actually, the soul is always completely transcendental to all the experiences of this physical body."
他说国王这个身体的这个灵魂的话呢，永远超然于呢身体的各种体验。
But we see that just like a person in a dream is dreaming that he is being eaten by a tiger, so his body is experiencing trembling and frightened like this. But when he wakes up from the dream, he understands, oh, this is only a mental concoction created by my mind.
那么就像一个人做噩梦梦到呢被老虎吃掉了，那么他也身体也震颤等等，导致这种惊恐的这种呢征兆了。但实际上呢醒过来的时候呢就知道了，这个呢不过是心智的一个虚构来导致的一个感觉。
So in the same way, the soul is experiencing, but only through the mind. The soul is imagining that I am this body, everything connected with this body belongs to me.
那么这样的灵魂在体验，但是的话呢也只是透过了这个心意的这个虚构了觉得我是这个身体我是这个心意人的。
And he gave another example of a tree on the bank of a river.
那么给了一个例子呢，就是河边的一棵树。
The tree's reflection and all the branches of the tree are reflected in the water of the river.
那么树灯这个枝枝叶叶的都投射在这个水面上。
But when a wind comes and causes the water of the river to move in small waves, then it appears that the branches of the tree are moving.
那么呢，当一阵风吹过来的时候这个泛起的波浪让这个倒影的话呢这个枝叶的话呢都变得摇摆不定，看起来好像这个树也在呢在动一样。
But the tree is not moving. It is only caused by the reflection in the water.
那么实际上呢，树并没有动而只是呢这个倒影这个变化呢是出现在它的倒影身上。
So in the same way, our condition within this material world is that the soul being absorbed in the identification of this body, therefore imagines that he is experiencing the pains and pleasures of this body.
那么因为这个灵魂的话呢，专注在心意这个层面的东西的，所以他呢想象着经历到痛苦快乐。
So Jad Bharat explained all these truths of the Atma, of the eternal soul to King Rahugana, and King Rahugana became very amazed.
所以呢，小的巴拉向呢国王呢 Rahugana 的话解释灵魂的真相所以他非常的震惊。
And he asked him, "Oh, great sage, really, who are you? What is your identity? I can understand you are keeping your real identity hidden."
那么Rahugana王呢就询问了伟大的圣人，你究竟是何人？我觉得你将自己的身份真实身份隐藏起来了。
And then Jad Bharat told him, he said, "You know, in your past family ancestors, you have one king who was named Bharat. I am he."
他说：“你知道吗？在你祖先里面有一个国王，名字叫Bharat，我曾经是他。”
So then the king Rahugana, he was very thankful to Jad Bharat, and he became a very great devotee at that time.
那么呢，Rahugana王的话呢，也很感激Jad Bharat这个教导了，他后来呢也成为呢一个伟大的一个奉献者。
And then Jad Bharat, he began to explain to King Rahugana that it is only by receiving the mercy of the pure devotee, and taking the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotee and bathing oneself in that dust, that one can achieve transcendental happiness and transcendental knowledge.
那么这个Bharat解释了一个人只有集着纯粹奉献者的联谊，沐浴在呢纯粹奉献者这个足下的尘土里面呢，才能够得到呢。We can get
transcendental happiness and transcendental knowledge of the soul.
超然的灵魂超然的快乐和知识。
And he said, not by doing severe austerities and tapasyas, it cannot be attained by this.
那么并不是急着这个 tapasya 苦行等等这些东西呢能得到这种。
Not by following varnashram dharma and the material duties of society, it cannot be attained.
那么急着追寻呢，这个是灵性受阶层也是不能够的，社会职责不能够不顾这些。
Not even by renouncing everything in this world and taking sannyas. This high truth cannot be attained by these processes only.
甚至放弃呢一切东西成为sannyas也不能够得到呢这种。
Vina nayat pada rajo vishekam. He said you must take the dust of the lotus feet of the pure Vaishnava and you must take bath in that. Only by this process can you attain pure transcendental love of Krishna.
他说呢你只有急着得到呢这个纯粹奉献者莲花足的尘土并且沐浴其中，你才能得到对 Krishna 纯粹的爱。
So in this way, the story of Srimad Bhagavatam tells us that we should be very careful in our spiritual practices and not make a mistake. Like Bharat Maharaj had made a mistake, and we should be very diligent in our spiritual practices and not be attached to anything of this material world.
所以这里的这个教导呢就说了我们在灵修生活中要非常的小心不要呢再像呢不要再犯巴拉克大军这样的错误就是说不要依恋任何东西，修行要非常的精进。
And another very important lesson: why did Bharat Maharaj become distracted in this way? Because he was alone in the forest and he was not in the association of other Vaishnavas.
那么呢还有一个要点呢就是说呢巴拉克马拉吉为什么会堕落后来就是说呢变成鹿了？那么就是因为他是一个人独修的周围没有任何奉献者的联谊
Therefore, we should always stay in the association of devotees, especially the pure Uttam Vaishnavas.
所以呢，我们永远要保留在奉献者的这个圈子里面这个联谊之中，尤其是呢这个呢纯粹的这个奉献者。
And one more important lesson is that at the time of death, whatever we are thinking of, we will attain that. But how can we control the process of thinking at the time of death? We have to cultivate that during our life.
那么呢，我们讲到了死亡之时你想这东西的话呢你既然到了那个目的地，那么我们怎么去控制我们死亡之时的思绪呢？那么就是你日常的时候呢去培育你这种就训练它心意。
Therefore, by constantly hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna, like in this great festival we're hearing from Srila Gurudev's lotus mouth, by this powerful process, our minds will become constantly absorbed in Krishna.
那么急着聆听唱诵和冥想 Krishna 就像我们在这次这个大节日里面所做的，从Srila Gurudev那里聆听这些经典，那么我们才能够将心意的话呢稳固在在这种硬体里面。
And by chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then throughout our whole life we will remember Krishna at the time of death and we will go to him.
那么你整辈子都能够记住 Krishna 的话呢你才能够去到他那里。
So, seeing the life of Bharat Maharaj, we should be very careful. And as he told, don't be attached to any one of this world. Attachment should be given to Gurudev, and Gurudev will give this attachment to Krishna. Then you will be free from any attachment. Even don't be attached to your body also. What to tell others? Son, daughter, wife, husband, then you can practice bhakti yoga in a real sense. Now, from endless time, we are suffering from so many things, so many problems, endless pain of endless birth and death we are feeling. This is not the first time. But as he told, Bharat told to Raghunath, King, only by good association, high class of Vaishnava association, you can have pure bhakti. And in pure bhakti, name is prominent. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva. Only Harinam. Only Harinam and only Harinam. In this iron age, Kali Yuga. By this, very easily, you will have bhakti and then cross endless birth and death, all problems, and have Krishna bhakti. In the life of Ajamil, he heard all these things. He was not, he has done only Namabhas, but not Suddha name. A person cannot touch any parikar of Krishna or Vaikuntha until he is totally pure. So at that time, he had not chanted pure name.
Only to show the glory of name they appeared in front of him.
Only. So he could not touch, but in the end when he went to Hardwar and began to remember Suddha name by the grace of 400 Vishnuduta, then he became totally purified. And then same Vishnudut came and they told that you should come in airplane. We will take you to Bethel. Then he questioned, why at that time you
Not allowed to
touch your feet?
And now you are inviting me to
Invited to come with you. Then they told, now you are quite pure, you have love, prem, and now you can be with us, and you will be also parikar of Vaikuntha.